It's all better now.
Hello, pal number one. Welcome to Hollywood Oracle. I'm Antonio, your reader. And let's get into this. So this is how people think you have changed recently, okay? How people view you've changed recently. Let's see, your card here is signs in the reverse. All right. Make sure you have your questions ready for the end of the read. We'll shake the 8-ball. Yes or no questions. Okay, so the signs card. Okay. so how people view change recently. How to put this? How do I put this in words? I feel like how people view you've changed recently is like you're not. I know it's a signs card in the reverse. I don't really feel like it's you not paying attention to the signs from Spirit Guide Universe. I feel like it's more so you not paying attention to people. Okay, so I feel like people, view you've changed recently in the way of like you're not as in touch with them as much as you used to be, right? So you might have, used to expel a lot of your energy into paying attention to people, keeping up with their stories, like a saga of people's lives. You know what I mean? Like where people tell you one thing and then like the next time they see you, they kind of give you like catch you up to date on whatever's going on with them, whatever the case. I feel like it like people view you've changed recently where it's like you're just not like that's not really what you're into or what you're like. Does that make sense? Like you'll shoot the shit with them, right? I mean, excuse the little French, but like it's just I don't know how to explain this. Like you just don't like the reality TV story of their life doesn't really interest you anymore. Okay, we do have the truth card here, and it's in the reverse. Yeah, because I feel like you're not so much concerned on like who's necessarily in the right anymore, right? And you're not necessarily concerned whether or not they're living like you're not really concerned whether or not people are living their life truthfully anymore, right? So I kind of feel like there's more of this like I don't want to say reserved energy, but like just this energy of like almost like taking a step back, right? Like, look, I got my own, like, people are seeing you as like taking a step back, saying like, I got my own stuff going on. I got my, like, just this removing a good chunk of your energy to focus more so on yourself. That's what I feel, how people, like, I feel like people are viewed, you've changed recently, okay? We have the Temper card in the reverse, yeah. So with the Temper card, it's like not only have you like taken this step back when it comes to like the things that are happening in people's lives, but she's also like removed emotion from that as well. Where it's like, look, you ever had like someone tell you a story about something that's happening to them, right? And then, you kind of like either, back your friend or whatever the case is, like you get emotional about it too. You're like, bitch, you know what I mean? Like you better work, like whatever the case is, right? Like go off, bitch, whatever. Okay. But I feel like how people have viewed change recently is like you're not doing that anymore, right? Or it's just like you ever like explain a story to someone and there's like almost little to no response. That's how people feel like you've changed recently, where it's like your emotion isn't as involved into what it is they're saying or portraying. We do have the protection card here, and that's in the reverse as well. Yeah, and that only makes sense because I feel like how people are also seeing you is like you may have like protected people in the past that you're no longer protecting, right? Like you put forth your own energy to kind of keep people out of harm's way, or maybe like if people asked you, like if it was a boss or something, they asked you about a friend of yours, it's like you didn't necessarily lie, but you didn't necessarily give them the whole truth. You know what I mean? um but like going forward, like this isn't like how people view you've changed recently. Like this isn't you. You're just like, well, look, I did this, like I did XYZ, and this is what happened. You know what I mean? Like I can't make this person work any faster. I can't, you know what I mean? Like my work is held up by this person's work, and it is what it is, right? So I feel like that's how people view you've changed, where it's like you're no longer like protecting people from, almost like their own demise, if that makes sense, right? Like you're no longer putting forth effort to protect people from their own demise, where it's like people could continue being a certain way. Like, let's say like you have a friend who's like, always late for, work or whatever the case is. But like you make sure to like keep the side door or something unlocked or whatever the case is, right? It's just like you're not putting forth that much energy to help them maintain the, lifestyle that they were living. Let's put it that way, right? Like you're not protecting them from themselves anymore. We do have the feel card here, and that's in the upright. With the feel card in the upright, yeah, I feel like people, like how people are viewing you recently changed. It's like, yeah, you're gassed up, you're lit, but it's for your own self, right? Like you're putting more fuel into yourself and your own pursuits than you are into other people. And I feel like that's how people feel you've changed more recently. Is like, you're not offering to fill up their gas tank anymore. You're just putting all the gas directly into whatever it is you're trying to get off the ground, whatever it is you're trying to, make strides in. We do have the love card in the upright. So for some of you, I do feel like, how people have seen like you change recently is like, I feel like you're in more of a loving, like energy, but I don't feel like the love is, how do I explain this? Okay, so either you're like looking for love, right? But also too, at the same time, it's like if you're not like looking for love, then it's like you're loving yourself more than like you're loving like anyone else, if that makes sense, right? Like I got to do what's best for me. You know what I mean? I got to love me. I got to make sure I'm getting enough sleep. Okay. I got to make sure, my belly's full. Okay. It's this type of energy where I just feel like we don't have the self-love, or I believe it's self-worth card out here, or the self-love card out here. But I just feel like you are in this loving energy, but it's just like the love is more for you than it is for anything else. Okay. We do have this intimidating card here, and it's in the reverse. Okay. Yeah. And this intimidating card is right next to this temper card in the reverse as well. So I do feel like how people are seeing you change recently, it's like, I feel like you've taken a step back. You may have had like a very like blunt persona, a very forward persona, a very like don't tread on me persona, a very fuck around and find out persona, But it's like in recent times, right? Like you aren't leading with that energy, right? Like what I'm saying is like you may have like in the past led with that energy. Like go ahead, cross the line if you want to, like, or like, when a grandparent or an elder used to be like, go ahead, touch it, like, go ahead, see what happens. You're not leading with that energy anymore. Okay. And that's how people see you recently change, where it's just like, you're like, again, I feel like leaving people essentially to their own demise, right? Like, okay, like almost like, how people say like, oh, what is it? What is that saying where they're like, you're not stuck in here with me, or like, yeah, I'm not stuck in here with you, you're stuck in here with me. Like essentially that kind of saying, right? Where it's like, like you should like, it's almost like, or like, those roads where they give you like a million signs to turn around and go back, right? You took down all the signs. Okay. You're like, no more signs. Go ahead and walk in. You know what I mean? And then when life, bites them in the ass, you're like, well, this wasn't your property. You should have been on it in the first place. It's that type of energy, right? Like you're not forewarning people. You know what I mean? Like you're not coming off in this like broad energy that you used to. Okay. We do have this control card, yeah, because people are seeing you like they're seeing how you've changed recently in the sense of just saying like you have more control over your own actions. You have more control over yourself and what you do and what you pay attention to and what you're willing to put up with, okay? We do have the insecure card, and that's in the reverse, right? So I do feel like people have seen your change, how they've seen you change. It's like, I feel like some of the insecurities you used to have, you no longer have them, right? So let's say, if you like for some of my men who've gone bald, who may like just wear hats all the time to hide the bald head or whatever the case is, right? No longer wearing the hat, right? And that's just an example, not trying to call anyone out. But just like, okay, so we can say like for women, you know what? So what? You bald headed, right? Rock that weave, whatever the case is. Okay, if you're rocking one, whatever, you're like you don't even care if it's some weird ass exotic color, bro, fucking tennis ball color. You rocking that weave, okay, with no insecurity. Okay, we do have the chosen card here, and that's in the upright. Okay. We have with the chosen card, yeah, like I was saying, look, see, so this chosen card is right next to this love card that we were just talking about. And I feel like that's, again, just confirmation and saying like you're choosing yourself over everyone else, right? You are the chosen one, okay? Like, why am I out here panning for other people, trying to keep other people out of trouble and this and that, when if I just pour that energy into myself, look how much I can grow. And I feel like that's how people are seeing you change recently, is just like you're more so concerned about what's best for you than anyone else, right? Like you're choosing yourself. Okay, we do have the signs card here, and that's in the reverse as well, like the overall card that I said. And like I was saying, it's like what did I just say, right? So what I was talking about with the intimidating card, which is to the left of this card, where I said you took down the signs, right? You're no longer forewarning people. It's just kind of more one of those like, stumble on in or whatever. What's that movie? It's called Don't Breathe. If you've never seen it, I recommend seeing it. Bizarre twist and everything like that. But essentially, there's like these, I want to say there's 3 or 4 or whatever, teenagers or whatever, and they break into this blind guy's house, right? And they figure he's an easy target because he's blind. But oh, do they find out? Okay. Okay. So I feel like it's that type of energy where it's just, you have this, like people are seeing this change in you where it's like there's like, how to explain it? It's like an animal or something. You ever like gotten close to like a wild animal, and it's just like they don't necessarily care that you're close to them, but like if you reach out to touch them or something, then they bite your ass. Like you should have known you can't touch no wild ass animal. You know what I mean? Like there's no signs that they were going to be harmful, but you fucked around and find out. And I feel like, again, that's how people are seeing you change, where it's just like you're not really forewarning or any, like you're not giving off it's almost like you're not giving off emotion anymore. Like it's almost like you don't have a care, right? Like ultimately you don't have a care. You know what I mean? Like it could, like what people are doing, you could care less necessarily about it until it involves you, right? Like you're not really showing a sign of caring. We do have the communication card here, and that's in the upright as well. As well, but just in the upright. We have the communication card here, and I feel like with the communication card here in the upright, are you an antsy person? Why do I feel so? Maybe that's how people feel around you. Like they feel antsy because you don't give enough back for them to kind of formulate a decision about you, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm like, I can't sit still for this. This reading. I'm just like doing everything, any and everything. So maybe you just make people really like antsy or fidgety. Anyways, with the communication card in the upright, I feel like, yeah, people are seeing you change recently where I feel like you're having these more direct conversations, right? Where it's like you're cutting through the middle person, you're going directly to source, and you're like, hey, we got to talk about this, right? And these talks are more deepening than any other talks that you would normally have, right? So you could be like kind of like a jokester, or you could have fun or whatever the case is, but it's like you also know how to like have these conversations that are extremely serious and need to be taken seriously. Okay. We do have the fun card here in the upright. Yeah, kind of like what I was just saying here with the communication. With the fun card here in the upright, yeah, people have seen you change recently where it's like you're including more fun into your life, like you're doing more fun things, right? Where it's like you're stepping out more, you're enjoying your time with people, whatever the case is, whether it's with people or by yourself. I just feel like people are seeing you've changed where it's like you're adding fun back into your routine, right? So you could have been in this period of like just kind of like nose down, working hard, whatever, pursuing goals. And now it's like you're kind of stepping out to like give yourself a break, or just making sure that you make time to also include fun in your life, which you should do, right? That's part of the human experience. We do have the confidence card here, and that's in the upright. Yeah, that's how people see you've changed. Seeing how you've changed recently is that you have more confidence in yourself, and I feel like it's the confidence that's almost like deadly, if that makes sense, right? Like you ever seen a movie where someone's like people are afraid to do something, and then there's that one person who's just like, be a man, whoa, 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 right? And they just like run in there and they die in like 3 seconds. Not saying that you're going to die, pound number one, but I do feel like it's just, you have that level of confidence, right? Or almost like the confidence where like the hero in the scene or whatever like runs through like a barrage of bullets and missiles, and they don't even get a scratch on them. I feel like that's how people are seeing you more recent time, is just like having this confidence that's like bewildering people, right? And I feel like people are even kind of questioning like, where is it coming from, right? Like, and again, if we look at this row, right? We have the temper card in the reverse, the intimidating card in the reverse, and the science card in the reverse, and then boom, confidence. It's almost like you're not even experiencing any of this here, right? Like you can't get me out of my element by tempting me into my anger, right? I'm not going to like push back on you with intimidation or try and like show you who's boss, right? It's like there will be no signs of like retaliation or anything like that, but what you will see is me walk off in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, like, like I will, like, I feel like you're I don't want to say the underdog, but it's just like you rather show people than, I don't know how to put this into words. Yeah, you don't allow people to see you like come. It's like those movies where like one of those like war movies where they attack in the night, when everyone's sleeping or whatever. It's like you kind of creep up with your confidence and you get the job done, if that makes sense. That's the best way I can put it. It's like you show no signs of like anything bothering you, but then it's like boom, like the work is done. Okay. We have some advice cards here from Spirit Guide Universe, whatever it is you believe in. Only one way forward, and that's in the reverse. Yeah, I feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying there's multiple ways to kind of, essentially live your life, right? And if this one works for you, great. If it's not working for you, find another one. Okay, find something that works for you. Keep changing your schedule around, keep reorganizing your sleep pattern, whatever the case is, and you'll find the one that essentially works for you in at least the time period that you're in right now. Face your fears, and that's in the reverse. Okay. With the face your fears in the reverse, I just feel like Spirit Guide Universe here is just saying like, confirmation. They're not saying to not face your fears. I just feel like they're telling you to handle them with more precise strikes. You know what I mean? Like just essentially like I was saying, like don't run in there and die in 3 seconds, right? Like just sure, have that confidence that you can get the job done, but also do it smart. You know what I mean? Like, do you have to run in there and try and blow everyone away with a shotgun when you're in a room of 15 versus you, or is there another way to do it, We have be about your, and that's in the upright. Yeah, I feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying, like, essentially, be about, let's change shit to you, right? Be about you, okay? Because again, like, we have the protection card where I was talking, like, you're no longer protecting people from themselves. You're allowing people, like, look, if you want to make that stupid ass decision, go ahead, make that stupid ass decision. That's on you, right? like you knew that decision was stupid as hell, and you still made it. But then we have this control card, right? Here in the upright, right? And then the communication card. So I just feel like Spirit Guide Universe is just saying here, right? Like, continue being about you and your shit, right? Make sure your T's are signed, your I's are dotted. Okay. We do have show no mercy, and that's in the reverse. Okay. Show no mercy. With the show no mercy in the reverse, I feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying show mercy to yourself, right? You could be like you could have kind of like a hard ass persona, but it's like on yourself, right? So it's like, you don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. It's almost like not only are you requesting people to do better for themselves, but you're requesting it 10 times more out of yourself, right? Like, by not allowing yourself to make mistakes, and if you do make one, you're beating yourself up for making, it could have even just been an honest mistake, right? Or just a human mistake, right? Or a mistake out of just habit, because this is what you normally do, or you revert back to, right? So I do feel like Spirit Guide Universe is just saying, like, show mercy on yourself, because no one is perfect, essentially. We do have Training Day Turd, and that's in the reverse. Okay. Yeah, I feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying, like, this energy that you're having with this confidence and everything like that, it doesn't really, I don't want to say it doesn't. It's almost like Spirit Guide Universe is saying it's not really something that you necessarily have to work on or work for on, whatever the case is. Like, you could just protrude this energy, right? And I've always said this, like, even going all the way back to probably one of my earliest readings, because it's just something that I core-heartedly believe in. Like, how you allow people to treat you is how they're going to treat you, essentially, right? So if you are not in this energy where, like, you're having this confidence in yourself, and not really allowing other people to get under your skin or into your head or whatever the case is, right? Then people are going to start treating you as such, right? With like major respect, because they know the type of things that you're going to put up with and the type of things that you're not going to put up with. And I feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying, like, you can't be out here, like, training to get there, if that makes sense, right? Like, you just have to show up in this energy, okay? Because if you're training to get there, people are always going to remember when you weren't there, and they're going to keep trying to keep knocking you back down into that energy of when you weren't there, okay? Let's shake the 8-ball, see what you get. Okay, it says, it is decidedly so. That has been your read, pal number 1. Thank you for tuning in to Hollywood Oracle. If this reading resonated with you, please leave a comment below. Let me know. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. AH. Draw. Hello, pal number 2. Welcome to Hollywood Oracle. I'm Antonio, your reader. And let's get into this. All right, so make sure you have your questions ready for the end of the read. We're going to shake the 8-ball. Okay, yes or no questions. Let's see what your card is. Pile number 2, come on down. We have the Sacrifice card here, and that's in the upright. All right, so this is how people have seen what people have seen change in you, right? How people seeing your change? One of the two, one of the something. You've seen the title. Okay. You know why you're here. Shit. uh, excuse me, guys. We have the sacrifice card here in the upright. So let's see. What are people seeing? Seeing how you've changed recently. Okay. How have people seen you change recently? That's what I'm gonna go with. How people seen you change recently. Okay, so pound number 2 with the sacrifice card here in the upright. I feel like what people have seen change in you is like, I feel like they're seeing you sacrifice more for like a delayed gratification. Yes, that's what it is. People are seeing you sacrifice things to gain things at another point in time. Okay, like they're seeing you almost like put limits on yourself because, you know, like even though it sucks right now, yes, but in the future, right? Hear me out. In the future, okay, things will be better off for you. Okay. So it's like the necessary sacrifices is how people have seen you. You know, you make these changes. We have the strength card here, and that's in the reverse as well. So with the strength card being in the reverse, I just feel like you're. How do I explain this? You know, you ever seen like those people who kind of like are like broad shoulder, maybe muscular, and they feel like simply because they are like their body's shaped like that they can kind of like bully people, that they end up like getting knocked out or whatever the case is. I feel like it's kind of, okay, not saying that you're like that, pound number 2, but it's like it's like you're not, you may have led with that in the past. Not saying that you're a bully or anything, pound number 2, but it's like you led with strength in the past. And I feel like how people have seen you change recently is like you're no longer leading with that type of energy, but you're more so leading, confirmation with a different form of energy. So maybe it's a more relaxed energy, leading with words and action towards things instead of leading with like brute strength or, you know, brute determination. We do have affection card here, and that's in the upright. Yeah. So people have seen you change more recently. It's like they're seeing you being more, now this could be affectionate towards a specific person, or this could be just more affection with yourself, right? Loving yourself more, treating yourself right. If it is love with someone else, they're just seeing you being more affectionate with that person. And I feel like this could be more out in like public or just in front of people, right? Where people didn't necessarily see you as an affectionate person, and now they're seeing you like hug and kiss and whatever the case is in front of people. Okay. We do have the attention card here, and that's in the upright. Okay. With the attention card in the upright, I feel like how people seen you change is like, I feel like you're caused, like, how do I explain this? You're, the word. Word of the bird. I feel sorry. I feel like I don't want to say you're directing more attention towards yourself, but it's almost like it's like being seen without directly causing what do they call it, like a distraction, if that makes sense, right? So it's like you're being seen, you're being noticed, but it's not like you like jumping like a pick me. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like a pick me type of energy, but it's like you're being noticed through your accomplishments, you know, and the things that you're like working towards, right? So it's like people are paying more attention to you, but it's not because you're specifically, you know, putting yourself out there to be seen. If I don't know how to put that like put that into words, right? It's almost like you're allowing, here we go, you're allowing other things to speak for you, therefore you're gaining attention. Does that make sense? Like you're on the scene. Okay, people are noticing you, but it's because of your actions, not because you're like in people's face. Okay. We do have the star card, yeah, which pretty much makes sense of what I was just saying here with this attention, right? Like you're becoming the star, right? You're standing out among the rest of the people. And it's because, again, of like your actions I don't necessarily feel it's like because of who you are. It's just like your actions, the actions that you're taking, the things that you're pursuing, goals that you're accomplishing, right? It's making you stand out from everyone else. Okay. We do have the prototype card here, and that's in the reverse. With the prototype card, prototype protection card, sorry guys. With the protection card in the reverse, I feel like how people have seen you change is like, I feel like, and if you feel called to another reading, you might, but with the protection card, this is just saying like I feel like you're no longer protecting people. You're no longer protecting people who don't deserve that type of protection, right? Like if they're doing wrong, you're allowing them to do wrong, right? Like I'm not going to protect someone who, it's almost like you're not protecting people who don't match your same morals or values, right? Like if a person is wrong, then they're wrong. Okay. There's no more, hiding it. And we're in the, what age of Aquarius, I believe it is. So it's like everything that's in the dark is coming to light anyways. So I do feel like that's kind of how, people have seen you change recently, where it's like, you know what, even if you're cool with somebody, if they did something wrong, they did something wrong and it needs to be addressed. Right. We do have the thorough card, and that's in the upright. So people have seen you change recently, just being more thorough. And when I say thorough, I feel like it's just more detail oriented, right? Like you're leaving no room for, wander or curiosity. Okay. So let's say it's almost like, let's say like I send you to the store with $20 and I'm like, get some bread, some eggs, some milk, whatever. Okay. And when you come back, it's like, not only do you have, the receipt and like the exact change, but it's like the exact change is in an envelope. It's licked, it's closed and sealed, so no one can open it. You have everything, in the bag, right? Maybe even like with a sticker tag to tell me exactly what it is. And you have a picture of the screen before you checked out of how much it was and how much I should be getting back, right? Like, like it's thorough, it's detailed, like everything is there, right? So it's like there's no room for curiosity. There's no room for you to like misconstrue anything. And I feel like that's how, people have seen you change, where it's just like, you're looking over everything, you're checking it twice, you're making sure it's right. Like you're in the depths of things, right? Like, like you take the expression of getting in that ass literally, right? Like you in that ass, like you, there is no room for error when you're on the case. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, shit. We have disciplined here, and that's in the reverse. Should get a job at First 48. That type of thorough. The discipline card here in the reverse. I feel like how you're being seen, how you've seemed to have changed recently, right? Is I feel like you're not as, so it's like, even though you're as thorough as you are, I feel like you've relaxed on the things that you used to discipline yourself on, right? So let's say, let's say like all you eat for, at work is just like, nuts and whatever, things to get you through the day before, you essentially have dinner at the end of the night, right? But now it's like, now you'll indulge in having lunch with, people at work or whatever case. So I just feel like people have seen you change recently in this form of just like relaxing on some of those things that you used to hold so discipline, right? Like if you were, for instance, Major Payne over here, right? And you remember, like, he'd never let anyone blow his whistle, and then he started letting that that sounds wrong, but the female in the movie, he allowed her to start blowing. See, there's no right way to say it, but he allowed her He allows her to start blowing his whistle, and they become closer. So I do, and that's just an example to say, like, you're relaxing on some of the rules that you had, right? Like, you're relaxing on some of those disciplinary measures that you had for yourself. Like, it has to be X, Y, Z, and now you're like, okay, it can be X, A, Z, Y, just changing up a little bit. Living life a little bit more. We do have the sacrifice card, and that's in the reverse, okay? So here's the thing. I know we have the sacrifice here in the upright, but I feel like these two sacrifices are talking two different things. So with this sacrifice, we were discussing, how you're sacrificing things to gain other things later on. I feel like with this sacrifice, you're no longer sacrificing yourself for anyone else. Okay. You're no longer sacrificing your energy for anyone else, right? Like, you're no longer, like, essentially you're putting yourself forward, right? You're putting yourself and the things that you want before anything else. Okay. We do have the stranded card here, and that's in the reverse. Yeah, I feel like how people have seen you change recently is like you're leaving yourself out. Okay, like you're leaving yourself ways out, right? So it's like you're not essentially anything that you do, you set yourself up with a way, like a back door, if you know anything like IT or anything like that, right? So it's like, they'll create a program, but they'll leave themselves like an entryway in through a backdoor coding that only they know about, right? So I feel like that's kind of how people have seen you change recently, where it's like, you may help someone, you may do something, whatever the case is, but you always make sure that your ass is covered in the back end, right? So it's like if someone were to come around asking questions, you could say, well, I did the X, Y, Z. Anything outside of that, that's on this person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anything else. I didn't do anything else. So I feel like that's how people have seen you change recently. And I feel like it's like almost like relinquishing responsibility more and making sure that you can't like necessarily be tied to wrongdoings or anything of that sort, right? But also making sure that, like, again, like your ass is covered, like they're again with and then like diagonal. I don't normally read diagonal, but like, yes, I do feel like it's thorough, right? Like you can literally tell them the time that it took place, when it happened, what day it happened, where you were, how much gas was in your damn car, right? like there's no room for error. But you're just making sure that all your, again, T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, right? You're covered. We do have the wealth card here, and that's in the upright. Yeah. So I feel like how people feel change recently is like, yes, you could have an increase in wealth as far as like financials, or that's just something that you're working on or towards. Okay. Maybe you bought a house recently. We do have that. That's a house, a for sale sign for a house. We do have the exclude card here, and that's in the upright. With the excluded card here in the upright, I feel like how people have seen you change recently is, I feel like it's more of this energy of like keeping to yourself, right? So it's like you may have relaxed your disciplines, but your walls are still up, okay? So it's like you're still keeping yourself away from the people who mean you like no good, or, who, confirmation will like kind of drive you down. Like how some people, best way to put it into words is like, how some people they're not bad people, but they just have nothing going for them, right? So it's like you're excluding yourself from those people as well, because that even though they're not bad people, they can drag you down by not pursuing more in their life. Does that make sense? Like they're not causing you to grow because they're not growing as well, but there's nothing necessarily wrong about them, right? They're just comfortable with where they're at in life, okay? We do have the power card here, and that's in the reverse. So I feel like how people I've seen you change is like, I feel like there's a shift in not necessarily power, but like the desire for it, right? Like here's the thing. When a lot of people want like raises and promotions at work, right? Most of the time because they want more money, okay? But what they don't realize when it comes to those type of positions, it comes with a lot more power, it comes with a lot more responsibility, right? And then you find these people who end up hating their jobs or hating their life because they have so much responsibility or so many things weighing on their shoulders, right? And I feel like how people have seen you like change recently is like you're relinquishing some of that power, right? If you have it. So it's like and now this doesn't necessarily have to be the work environment. This could be just, you and your, family. If you have a family with someone, you're allowing your significant other to take on more roles, or things that were just weighing heavy on you, not able to keep up with everything. It's along that, right? So take how it resonates for you, but I see it as it's like you're just you're not trying to lead everything anymore. You understand that, like, with all this, what's the Spider-Man saying that I say all the time? With great power comes great responsibility. Right, exactly. And you're like, okay, this is a lot of responsibility. I need to like relinquish some of it. You know what I mean? To make my life easier. Okay. We do have the rest card, and how people are seeing you change recently is you're not resting as much. Okay. So you could be tired more, could be drinking more energy drinks, could be doing things of the sort just to get more energy, or people have just noticed that you're not getting as much sleep as you normally do. Right. And a lot of good signs to say that is people usually have those like black things under their eyes, right, to detail that they're not sleeping well. Let's see, we have some advice cards here from Spirit Guide Universe, whatever it is you believe in. Okay, do you have morals? And that's in the upright. I just feel like Spirit Guide Universe is just, so Spirit Guide Universe is, I feel like they're saying like you're essentially living life the correct way, right? Because you're asking people, do they have morals? You're not opposed to helping people and things of the sort, but you're not going to get yourself tied up in things that are questionable, right? So I feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying with every action, right, ask yourself, does this align with your morals? And if it doesn't, this probably isn't something that you should get yourself involved with, okay? We have here boundaries. With the boundaries card here in the reverse. I feel like this only pertains to the attention card. I'm not feeling this for anything else. Maybe possibly a little bit with the wealth. Like if you're trying to build wealth, obviously you're going to have to bring down some of your boundaries in order to allow the people in who need to be in your life to help you create this financial wealth. But if it's, I feel like, again, it's more so for this affection part. If you're looking for a significant other, you're going to have to let some of your boundaries down, right? You're going to have to relax those shoulders, look approachable, maybe try smiling, okay? In order for, the person, for significant others that you're looking to meet, right, to approach you or even be interested in having conversation with you, okay? Like no one wants to scale walls to try and build love, We do have get a effing hobby, and that's in the reverse. With that being in the reverse, I just feel like Spirit Guide Universe is just saying here to like kind of keep your head down and keep working towards whatever it is you're working towards, right? Like you're on the right path because you're excluding yourself. Again, kind of like how I was saying, you're excluding yourself from the people that don't necessarily have anything going for them or are not, kind of keeping you like, they say like, you are your environment essentially, right? So if you're surrounding yourself around people who are all settled, you'll most likely settle in and stop pursuing things, right? So I do feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying like, don't get a hobby, don't, bring on more stuff onto the ship or whatever you want to call it, right? Just keep your head down and keep working, right? You don't need any more hobbies. You don't need anything else pulling your attention away from whatever it is you're working towards, okay? We do have okay to feel, and that's in the upright. Yeah, I just feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying like you're here in this row, we have the star card in the upright, the sacrifice card in the reverse, and the power card in the reverse. I just feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying like all of your feelings are valid, right? All of your feelings are valid, and you should pay attention to them because they're going to help you navigate this crazy thing we call life. But I do feel like there's times where like you kind of question whether or not you should be feeling like this, or like whether or not it's okay to feel like this, or whether or not like especially like people who grew up with a lot of like tough love, they were always so like, pull themselves up by the bootstraps and never allow themselves to, be sad or whatever the case is. And while that does get us pretty far in life, right, it also, makes us kind of like cold and heartless a little sometimes, right? And it makes us kind of hard to connect with because we're not in touch with like emotions and feelings, right? So I do feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying like it's okay to feel. It's just not okay to sit in those feelings. Does that make sense? Right? Let that sink in. It's okay to feel, but it's not okay to sit in those feelings, right? Where we still have to make movements towards things, okay? Here we are, act like a bee, get treated like a bee, right? Yeah, I just feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying, and look, and this is in that same row, right? Again, I feel like it's affection. So if you're looking for love or something of the sort, right? How you allow people to treat you is exactly how they're going to allow you, exactly how they're going to treat you. But same thing here with this like wealth card. Make sure that like the people you're getting in business with actually want what's best for you and not best for them, right? It's an equal deal, right? 50-50. We both got to make something out of this, okay? That is your read. Let's shake the 8-ball here, see what you get. Yes or no questions. Most likely in the upright. So I would say that's a yes, pile number 2. Thank you for tuning in to Hollywood Oracle. I'm Antonio, your reader. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Hey, X. Draw. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to Hollywood Oracle. I'm Antonio, your reader. Let's get into this. All right, pile number 3. This is how people have seen you change, right? Seen the changes in you. What changes in you people have seen? I don't know what I'm calling this, right? You've seen the title, okay? We'll figure it out. But it has something to do with that. Anyways, make sure you have your questions ready for when we shake the 8-ball. Okay, yes or no questions. Your card here is protection in the reverse. Did I say I was, you know what? I don't even remember if I did it. So I'll do it again. Welcome to Hollywood Oracle. I'm Antonio, your reader. All right, let's get into this. Gosh, it has been a week for me, guys. Let me tell you. It's been a week. It's been a week, my guys, gals. Let's get drinks. Where are we going? I'll buy the appetizer, okay? The protection card here in the reverse. What changes have people seen in you? I feel like with the protection card in the reverse, this read, you know, if you feel called the other piles, go right ahead. But I do feel like with the protection card in the reverse, the main change people have seen in you is like no longer protecting people, right? We're in the age of Aquarius where everything is going to come to light essentially, right? So it's like you're no longer protecting people from their imminent doom, right? You're no longer, you know, covering for people, you know, covering for people to allow them to continue their behaviors, right? What do they call that? Enabling. There you go. Right? So it's like you're stepping away from that, right? You're no longer the security guard. Figure it out yourself, right? I'm no longer like, you know how those people are like, I'm not going to lie for you kind of thing. It's that type of energy, okay? We do have the fun card here and it's in the reverse, okay? So what recent changes people have seen in you, okay? I feel like with the fun card being in the reverse, people have seen like, I feel like you're just buckling down more, okay? Excuse me, I just got like a whole bunch of burps there. A mirage of burps, right? You're buckling down more, right? Like you're excluding fun from like your habits and like you may be a very like fun talkative person going out, whatever the case is, but I feel like you're kind of putting your head down and getting to work more. Like you're not spending so much on fun or extracurricular activities, right? We do have the stranded card here, and that's in the upright. Okay, with the stranded card here in the upright, I feel like this is you doing this to other people, right? And this is changes that people have noticed in you recently is you're leaving more people behind, right? You're leaving more people behind. You're saying, look, this is where we cut ties, right? You go that way, I go this way, okay? Or this is where I get off, okay? Like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Ozzy, but I'm not going on this crazy train, okay? I've had enough, okay? We're not going off the rails. Actually, I want to stay on the rails, okay? So we have the family card here, and that's in the upright. With the family card here in the upright, I feel like what recent changes people have seen is I feel like you're more so creating your own family. You're realizing the people that are for you, right? The people who want to see you grow, the people who want to see you, prosper, do well for yourself, and you're cutting ties with the people who don't. Okay, or you're cutting ties possibly even with your own actual family because even they don't have the right outlook or the right demeanor towards you. Okay, like even they don't treat you in a way that you see for yourself, right? Or the way that you want to be treated, essentially. Okay, we do have the Mass card here, and that's in the upright. With the Mass card here in the upright, I feel like what recent changes people have seen in you is like, like I don't want to say that you're wearing a mask because that's not necessarily what I'm feeling. Pile number 3, but it's like, how do I explain this? It's more so like, you ever had like a costume, like an accessory to your costume, and if you put it down or don't wear it or whatever, it makes it harder for people to understand who you're trying to portray, if that makes sense, right? Or B, it's almost like your costume doesn't make sense without this one accessory, right? And you've kind of put that accessory down. It's not that you weren't, this person the whole time. It's just, it's just like there's no more optical illusions, right? There's no more, like security things that you have to go through, right? There's no more like check the little box if you're not a robot and do the word passcode or whatever. There's no more of this. It's just straight content, straight energy, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's the more recent change that people are seeing. It's like they're just getting the real, like, this is you, right? Like, whether you like it or not. It's like almost like, how people, like, you ask people if something's good and they're like, it's an acquired taste. You at this point are an acquired taste, right? Because they're getting strictly what it is and not any added fillers. It's almost like, people who drink coffee with the million of additives of like creamer, sugar, cold foam, and instead of getting all that, they're just drinking straight black coffee now. Okay. We do have the psychic card here, and that's in the upright. With the psychic card in the upright, I feel like the recent change people have seen is you. Yeah, I just feel like you're listening more to your intuitive messages, right? You're listening more to what you feel inside instead of what's happening on around you and what's going on around you, right? Like, you're not allowing things happening around you or like the say-so of other people to influence your decisions. You're more so listening to your heart and your inner knowing, okay? Like, if you have a gut feeling about something, you're going with that gut feeling. We do have the self-love card here, and that's in the reverse. Okay, with the self-love card being here in the reverse, I feel like you may have slipped a little bit in the attention that you show yourself. Now, this could be just because you're overworked or whatever the case is, but I feel like that's a more recent change in yourself where people have noticed that, like, you maybe don't dress in as many accessories or you don't put as much effort in something because your attention is elsewhere, okay? Not saying that you're not taking care of yourself, but it just could be like something that you used to do all the time that you don't do very much anymore, right? Or maybe it's like, like for me, like I have a long kind of like beard-ish, I guess to say. Some women like it. Other women thinks it makes me look like bummy, right? So two sides of the same coin kind of thing, right? We do have the deal card here, and that's in the reverse, okay? With the deal card in the reverse, I feel like the recent changes people see in you is like you're no longer making deals that you don't receive any benefits from, right? Like if if you're not benefiting from anything of it, you're not making that deal, right? You're no longer just helping people, or you're just no longer doing things that you don't get some type of kickback, right? Not saying that you're selfish or you want to help someone, in order to get back. It's just these are more so like solidified deals. Like if I'm going to continue keep doing this for you, I'm going to make sure I'm going to get something out of it, right? Like I'm not just going to continuously keep giving to you for nothing, okay? We do have the rest card here, and that's in the reverse. It's kind of what I was saying here with that self-love card. With the rest card being in the reverse, recent changes people have seen as you is, I feel like you're not as rested as you used to be. You're not as, like high energy or high strung as you used to be, okay? And that's the recent changes people have seen you. So you could be pursuing other things that is, taking a lot of your energy. We do have the scheming card, and that is here in the upright, okay? With the scheming card here in the upright, I feel like what recent changes people have noticed is I don't feel like it's a negative scheming, right? I just feel like people are seeing you like plan things around, right? Like this is how you're doing this is how you're doing that, right? Like you're scheming how you're going to make everything work and how everything's going to fall into place, right? We do have the affection card here, and that's in the upright. With the affection card here in the upright, I feel like with the affection card here in the upright, the recent changes people have seen as you is like, I feel like you're putting more attention towards, the affection that you're receiving, right? Like you want more like love and affection, or maybe you're showing that more towards your significant other or to potential, people that you're pursuing, okay? Or maybe it's becoming like a priority in your life. Like this is what you want more of. We do have the Starseed card here, and that's in the reverse. With the Starseed card in the reverse, I feel like how the recent changes people are seeing in you is like they may see you as like someone who could be like kind of straying from, I don't want to say you're straying from your faith, right? Like you're moving away from it. I just feel like you're noticing more of where it's not like evident, if that makes sense. Like who has it in them, who's doing things for such and such values. Like you're noticing like the people who aren't star seeds, right? Like, or it's just like you're noticing where that energy doesn't resonate, right? So it's like if you work at a place that's just low vibing, everyone's, against everyone and everyone's out for everyone else's neck. It's that kind of energy. People are noticing that like yours could be diminishing because you're in these environments, or it's like you're just kind of losing faith in an environment or a place or a person or something like that, okay? We do have the Chosen card here in the upright, yeah, because ultimately this is, and I feel like this is supposed to go right after this card anyways, it's like, yeah, you're choosing yourself, right? And I feel like that's the recent change people see in you is like you're choosing more of yourself, right? More of what's making you happy, more of like what's getting you the most out of things, right? You're just choosing yourself more out of mainly for anything, right? Anything. If this place isn't making you happy, you're choosing yourself and finding another place to be or another place to work or whatever the case is, okay? We do have the Wealth card here, and that's in the upright. With the Wealth card here in the upright, I feel like recent changes people have seen in you is like, yes, you're becoming wealthy, or at least that's the illusion that people are getting, right? And it could be because you're just wearing nicer clothes. You could have a very good fashion sense, right? A lot of people feel like, you can look at a person and be like, oh, they got money. But really they just know how to dress, right? They could be wearing like all Walmart or Target stuff and you wouldn't know because of how well they put it together, okay? And this could be you, right? Or it could be just like you actually are gaining more wealth, or maybe wealth is more on the table for you now than ever before, right? It's becoming more of a thing that you're worried about or pursuing towards, okay? Some advice cards here from Spirit Guide Universe, whatever you truly believe in. We have, do you want it? Earn it, okay? I feel like Spirit Guide Universe is just saying, like, how to put this, essentially like everything in life you have to earn, right? Like nothing's going to be given to you. Yes, spirit guide universe will line things up for you, but you still have to put in the effort for it to come to you. Okay, like it's not just going to fall into your lap. We do have the little engine that could, and that's in the upright as well. And they're saying that they believe in you, right? They believe in you to X out all the people, right, and get off any paths that's not necessarily for you with the stranded card. Okay, but then also too, they believe in you to put back that self-love into yourself, right? Because look, what does it say? Like the way you dress essentially creates how you feel about yourself, right? So if you're always in like sweatpants and, loungewear, then you're not going to feel like the best about yourself. Your ego, I don't want to say your ego, but like you're just not going to be high, in this high vibing energy because you don't look like you're in that energy, right? Like you're not going to feel like you're in that energy when you're wearing sweats or, sleepwear. Like I was just literally watching a video, I think it was last night, I'm not even sure, but they're just like, some of the most successful people, the first thing they do, what I'm saying, is they get up, is they make their bed and they, immediately get out of like their sleeping clothes because that helps them like wake up. And again, it's like almost putting on a new energy, right? You know how like, for people who know who Batman is, right? Like everyone knows who Bruce Wayne is. He's successful. He's whatever. He dresses in business suits, right? He gives off this persona of like, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, whatever the case is. But then when he dons the cowl of Batman, right? Puts on his Batman suit. Now he becomes dark energy. He mixes with evil people. Like it's that kind of thing, right? So I just feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying like, you're the little engine that could. They believe that you can get to wherever it is you're trying to go, but you're going to have to put that energy into yourself. Okay. Same thing with affection. This could be showing yourself the affection that you need as well, right? If someone else isn't showing it to you at the moment. We do have not for everyone, and that's in the upright. With the not for everyone card, I feel like, Spirit Guide Universe is saying essentially you're not for everyone, and that includes family. And that's the first card starting off here. And that's what I was saying is like you could be finding your own family outside of the family that you actually have because you're not for your family. You don't represent what they represent or whatever the case is, okay? Same thing with this deal card here, right? Like, that deal may work for other people, but it doesn't work for me. Like this sucker wasn't born yesterday. Same thing with this Starseed card, right? You're not meant to mix and mingle with everyone. And sometimes, Spirit Guide Universe puts you in a place where the energy is low and needs to be fixed, right? So yes, it could take a while for you to, I don't necessarily want to say like feel wanted there or whatever the case is, but sometimes Spirit Guide Universe will drop you into a place where the energy is so low because you're meant to raise it, right? You're meant to raise people's morale. You're meant to like, like recently, maybe like a month or two ago, my boss called me what did he call me? The fixer, right? Because literally like the job that I'm at right now, every position that I have moved up into was like, I fill the position of people they've fired for wrongdoings. Right. And I come in and I do the job well, which in that case, it helps me reach another position. Right. And I leave that position that I used to be in. But it's done better. Right. So it's like I went in there, fixed everything. And then by the time it's like I start to get into a flow, another job opens up and I apply for it and I get it. And then I fix that department. Right. And so he's been like calling me the fixer. But I feel like that's kind of what I'm trying to say here is like, you're not always meant to like click in with everyone, right? You're not meant to always like get along with people because sometimes you're there to fix the problem. Okay. We do have get a effing hobby, and that's in the reverse. I do feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying like, essentially, don't exceed your battery life. You know what I mean? Like, don't push yourself to do so much that like you're not getting any rest, right? Because you can get sick from that. It's actually really bad for your body to not get the rest you need. But also too, it's like, don't create any hobbies or get into any hobbies that like confirmation, like mash your actual persona, right? If you know who you are, then be that person, right? A lot of times when we find something that confirmation. When we find something that we're interested in, we kind of take on this persona that isn't necessarily us. It's just because we really like that thing. Okay. So like an example would be like, like that person who gets into like pottery and then they just become all about pottery for like the next like 2, 3, 4 months. And then like once the all wears off, right, they're not about pottery anymore. Okay. So I just feel like, how I was talking about like accessories, pottery was like that person's accessory, right, to their persona until like they got bored of it and then they went back to who they really were, right? We do have no whining, and that's in the reverse. Yeah, I just feel like Spirit Guide Universe is saying, like, look, some things are going to suck. It's okay to whine. It's okay to vent. Essentially, like, your feelings are valid, right? Like, that's just how life is. Let's shake the 8-ball. Yes or no question. See what you get. Come on, give me something. You're right there. As I see it, yes. So that would be a yes, pile number 3. That has been your read. Thank you for tuning in to Hollywood Oracle. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one.